I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't merely rock. I just get the brick across.
What is up, beautiful people? It's your girl Anna on It's an Amazing Life We Live, coming to you on Tuesdays 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. here on iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, and YouTube, as long as you follow Pop Radio Worldwide on all those platforms. That way you can listen to this show, watch the show later. Okay, so make sure you're following Pop Radio Worldwide. It is a motivational podcast aimed at helping you live your best amazing life. Here I feature health and wellness tips, brain training, mind training, inspirational stories. I also will feature athletes of the week. I feature entrepreneurs and angels. By angels, I mean angels and heroes, people that do non-for-profit organizational work. They do outreach community stuff. So if you want to promote that, I want to help you with that, okay? So I have Angels of the Week, heroes, come, angels. We can save the world together, okay? And today I have actually somebody very special for today's show. But real quick, I just wanted to let you guys know, because I know it's been a while since I've been on, and I know y'all miss me. Everybody's been hitting me up, where you been at? And my bad, in the last show, which was oh my gosh, January, I kind of forgot to tell you guys, my bad, that I was gonna take a little leave, get on a little jet plane. Well, not a little one, but I went all the way to the Philippines. I went to the motherland, y'all. I went to the motherland to volunteer, and I was there for a medical mission. So I was there for 3 weeks, and I was just doing some humanitarian work, and I was, working with some really amazing people. But I'll tell you guys about that later. But that's where I've been. But my bad, I'm back. I'll be running through till the rest of the month on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Here to my left, like I said, I have a special guest, and her name is Miss Crystal Dino. Say what's up, Crystal.
What's up, everybody?
Crystal's very special in general, just because for me personally, well, I know her personally. She's actually, when I say she's my ride or die, she's okay, we've known each other a while, kindergarten. That's how long we've known each other. And what's beautiful is that she's one of those homegirls that you don't have to talk to every single day. Sometimes life gets in the way. It might be months, before we talk to each other, but then it's always comfortable. It's talking to her, it's like coming home, you know what I mean? It's comfortable, and we've kept our friendship sacred throughout the years. So, for anybody who has had a friendship for that long, and you've gone through stages of life together, and you still rock with each other, that's that's real, So that's my girl, So I have to put her on, because this is Pop Radio Worldwide. It's an amazing life we live, and she's a very inspirational person, because like I said, I know her personally. I've seen her evolve, and I'll let her introduce herself. But she is also, I was just saying, I just came back from the Philippines. She is also happens to be Filipina. She is a Shai Pinay. So tell us, Crystal, a little bit about what you do, what your line of work is, and basically she is she's everything, because she's a visual artist, a performing artist, martial artist, she's a healer, all sorts of things. But, tell the world, explain to the world, everybody listening, tuning in, what it is you do, what your mission is. I got deep there. Mission.
I do a lot.
You do a lot.
I do what I want to in many different ways. But yeah, where do I begin? I mean, I was born and raised here in Chicago. I'm a child of immigrants from the Philippines. And yeah, I was raised in the north side. The north side. And I grew up with a huge, big, fat Filipino family, okay? And so that has a big influence in a lot of the things that I do and how I am around people. But currently, I just graduated from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago with my master's in art therapy and counseling.
Art therapy, guys. Art therapy.
And
gotta gas you up. Art therapy.
Okay,
no, listen, I'm so proud of you. That's why I had to you on here.
I
So
appreciate you. Thank you. So that's been a long journey too, along with other things of what brought me to that was my artistry. I am an artist, visual artist, like you said. I dance, I move, I groove. I use movement to get to people. I use spoken word and poetry and other forms of art that come up in the raw of the moment to connect with people. So a lot of that also stems from just my understanding of how body works, how I could fill up space with my body and my story, and it doesn't always have to be used through words. And one of them is through Filipino martial arts. So I fight too.
we are definitely going to be talking about that because that's, like I said, I don't know, there's something about coming back from like anybody who has, you know, we obviously we're, you know, this is worldwide, so wherever you're from, like when you have that pride, and I went back to the motherland, there's something about like, you know, you have that pride from coming back home, and it's like, you know, you really embrace your culture. And something that's really beautiful about my girl Crystal here is that she really embraces that, you know, and she's I've seen her really like stand up for, you know, like be a voice for the other Filipinas out there that may not have a voice. Because I know I grew up feeling that way, and there's a lot of first, second generation people that feel that way. You know, a lot of us are Americans, but it's just like we all come from different seeds, different plants everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So what's beautiful about this girl is like I didn't even know there was Filipino martial arts. To be honest with you, I'm sorry. I am Filipino. I didn't know about it. Right?
Don't be sorry.
Okay, right? Because I mean, it's not as, you know, I guess. I mean, it's true. It's not as advertised or like as popular as other. You know, when people think martial arts, right away they think something like karate, kung fu,
right?
You know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But I wanted to ask you, like, what exactly is like? How is Filipino martial arts different? Because I didn't even know until actually my girl started doing, which is awesome because then it's like it spreads the word. Yeah. You know, there is such a thing as Filipino arts, and that's part of the culture that I want to learn about too. So tell us about that. Like, how is it different from other martial arts?
Shoot, it's a versatile art form. I will say, whatever you use, with a weapon or not with a weapon, you can use empty-handed. It is something that you could use anywhere and anywhere with any object that you have around you. It has a very deep history throughout the colonization of the Philippines, and I'm very, I don't know, it hits deep for me just because it's just like, how is an art form that long-lasting to reach me in the city of Chicago, where it's born through our motherland of the Philippines, along with the trading and all the other cultures that have influenced the art form itself. So it's empty-handed, it's weapon-based, it's full combat.
Like what kind of weapons?
We could use sticks, you could use knives. Sticks represent the sword, the blade, or a blunt object. You could also use any projectile weapons and all that. You could use scarves, you could use your malungs, you could use your sarong. And yeah, there are different types of styles throughout the Philippines. So the one that I come through is through the Defensor method that was brought here in the 70s through Defensor method Guru Nate. So
we got to put you guys on. See, like this is really like, how dope does that sound? Like honestly, it sounds like a really, like you said, a really versatile sport. Well, yeah, it is like an art though, like a martial art form. And it's like you're utilizing a lot of weapons that I feel like I haven't heard, you know, other martial, you know, other forms, other disciplines use. So it's very like, I mean, it's very like deep in our culture, like has deep roots, but at the same time, it's almost like innovative. It sounds like
yeah. So, I mean, I compare it to dance. I mean, I also move and dance, and I think everything that we learn and we go through in life is applied to how we move. And so when you have all these different experiences, you could improvise in so many different ways as you move through, as you navigate. So
that's dope. Well, I'm really excited to learn more about this because, like I said, it's a discipline that even though I'm Filipina, I wasn't even aware of. A lot of people think about different things, and it's amazing what you can really like learn about your culture even when you've been a certain way your whole life. It's just, you know, sometimes you really don't know, and it's, you know, I want to learn more about this. So real quick, like where can we find like what are some resources if you want to learn more about like Filipino martial arts?
Definitely check the internets. Hello, the interwebs. But if you're in Chicago, there are a few places that do hold classes. My brother definitely teaches every Sunday night up in Ravenswood, or was that Lincoln Square area. Okay. Jesse Santiago teaches up near Rogers Park. And I could definitely give you a list.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely tell everybody. We're going to be talking about where you can find that. We're going to be talking more to Crystal when we get back. We are going to go on a little break, but we're going to be talking about what inspires her, who inspires her, what it's like being first generation, second generation of Filipina, because it's definitely, we're talking kind of about identity issues, and also just accepting who you are as you are, and embracing your culture. Okay, so make sure you're following Pop Radio Worldwide so you can come check me out on Tuesdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's An Amazing Life We Live. Make sure you're following us on iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, and YouTube, and we will be right back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't really rock.
What is up, beautiful people? I am back. It's Anna on It's An Amazing Life We Live, coming to you on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time to 9 p.m. So tune in on a Tuesday to get your 2 cents. Like how we did that? Yes, the 2 cents. It's valuable. But 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., that's Central Time. So make sure you're, tuning in on the right time zone. Make sure you're following Pop Radio Worldwide on iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, and YouTube, so you can come check this show out. It is a motivational podcast aimed at helping you live your best amazing life. And I love to bring interesting guests to help inspire you and tell them their stories, so that it helps motivate you to live your best amazing life, just how my guests do every single day. Even though it may be tough, even though sometimes, we all have our bad days, but we make it work, and I love bringing people on that have big dreams and big visions, and Crystal Dino is one of those people, and she's my homegirl. So we were just talking to her about, she's a Filipino martial artist, so she is with an organization. Tell us real quick about that organization. It's called the FMA, and what does that stand for?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's not an organization. It's something I created 2 years ago.
Okay.
FMA stands for Freedom Movement Alignment. And yes, it does play on the FMA, meaning Filipino Martial Arts.
Okay.
But I wanted to create a space that was a bit more body-based, body-mindful awareness with the elements of Filipino martial arts. And it's for a space for specifically queer folks of color, queer people of color, women, trans, and cis-trans women of color, and young girls of color. To learn how to fight, to learn how to be trusting of their own resources within their body. So through the method of Filipino martial arts.
So real quick, how did you get into, I want to bring it back, because I was just telling, before we went on break, I was telling the people of the world tuning in that, even though I'm Filipino, I wasn't even really aware of, I'm not that educated about Filipino martial arts. So how did you first get into it? When did you get into it? How did you learn more about it? Who taught you,
That's a very important part of the story. So, we were still shorties in Lane Tech. We were about to graduate.
Lane Tech.
Oh, okay. But we were in Lane Tech.
Yeah.
We were about to graduate, and at that time, I was trying to understand what it means to be Filipina through different organizers, cultural workers, educators, nurses that went through an organization called CPI, which was Canadian Philippine Issues.
Okay.
I got introduced to that organizing group through my brother, Chris Dino, and I call him my sister outlaw, Matilda de Jos.
I love that, sister outlaw.
Yeah. And introduced me to all the other Filipino cultural workers within Chicago who went to a home called the Hamlin Home in Albany Park, and there would be a space where everyone would talk about issues in the Philippines and in Chicago Singaporean Filipinos. So they would have backyard sessions with Guru Nate, who would go and teach Filipino martial arts as one of the, like, just really, it's just a kickback, chill time where everyone could train and learn about the Filipino martial arts, along with all the political work that was going around, that time, during that time frame. That was, where were we, 2005?
Woo,
Yeah,
2005.
2004.
15 years ago. Wow.
So, and I was still a shorty. Everyone's a bit probably older than me, so I got to learn a lot about history, about Chicago, Filipino history, and all that. So that was, I think, is important to have that as a backdrop of how I learned Filipino martial arts, because it carries through to where I'm at now. So
that's what's up. So you, where do you personally train?
So Guru Nate used to teach at the Fitzgerald Gym near in Hyde Park. That would be like every Wednesday night.
Okay.
He got sick, so the other practitioners who are ranked higher have been holding more spaces for that method. So my brother is definitely one of them. I've been training with him on Sundays. So it's definitely a family affair.
Okay. Plug your brother's name. Who's the brother?
My brother is Christopher Dino.
Okay.
And
what's up, bro?
What up, kuya?
What's up, kuya?
Kuya.
That means brother in Filipino. In Tagalog.
Yeah, so that's every Sunday night, 5:30 to 7.
Kuya. That means bro.
Yes.
Like, what's up, kuya?
Yes.
Okay, say that one more time.
So, yes, Christopher Dino at Ravenswood / Lincoln Park Square, or Lincoln Square, 5:30 to 7.
Okay, dope. And you teach, you instruct classes as well in Filipino martial arts.
So it's through FMA, through Freedom Movement Alignment, that I hold seasonal sessions.
Okay.
And I hold seasonal sessions because I can't do it every day and I also work a full-time job as an art therapist at a school. So I have to really take care of myself in different ways, and holding a lot of space.
Balance. It's hard, man. Even when you're an athlete or we just make it look easy. But like, a lot of people, like if you're an artist or if you're an athlete, like a lot of us, it's not the only thing we do. We got bills. We gotta, when you're first starting out and you're still making it out there, it's like we want to do it all the time, but we have our lives that we got to balance out too. So it's definitely. So you said it's seasonal.
It's seasonal. So right now we are in the Winter Warrior season. And
I love that, Winter Warrior.
And we just finished our second session. So we have 5 sessions for the winter. And they're every other week. I hold them at Pilsen at the Eco Collective near 21st and Damon.
Okay, Pilsen Eco Collective. So, real quick, where can people find you if any one of you guys are interested in possibly taking, her class or maybe her brother's class, like if you want to message you or follow you, how can we get in contact with you?
You can definitely hit me up on Instagrams, Facebook, or my email at crystaldinofma@gmail.com. You can check out my website, freedommovementalignment.com. And I'm kind of pretty underground on how I've been, trying to reach out to folks about these sessions. It's usually through word of mouth, through flyers, through text. But little by little, again, like I said, I started this about 2 years ago. So it's just... I like the steady, slow approach of getting work as it should.
Any Facebook groups?
Yeah, do you have a Facebook group yet?
Not yet, and I will be soon. Yeah.
Okay.
It's little by little.
Stay tuned. So right now, just Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? Instagram. So plug that Instagram real quick again. If people want to
just
contact you.
Crystal Dino. And
Crystal Dino. Simple as that. Her name. Crystal Dino, if you want to get in contact with you, if you want to learn more about Filipino martial arts or the FMA, Freedom Movement Alignment, which sounds really dope. You just started it 2 years ago, and I'm sure it has a big future ahead. Like, I know my girl, This is why I wanted to bring people on that start some really awesome, movements and bring people together to help educate and bring culture together. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really wanted to bring her on. But this girl is I came up with this thing called the Queen of all trades. You know what I'm saying? Not just a jack of all trades, it's Queen of all trades. And Filipino martial arts, the Freedom Movement Alignment, that's not all that you do. She is a visual and performing artist. So, we've like I said, I've known this girl since like kindergarten, and we were always like the weirdos, the, you know,
making up songs.
Like we were those kids that, like, you know, we thought we were, you know, singers one day, and then the next day we thought we were choreographers, and the next day it's just, you know, we grew up in the 90s, and that was a great time where it's like people still played outside. So we're going to be talking about you know, all the other things that she does outside of just FMA and the 2 FMAs that you were talking about, because she is also a Reiki healer, and I want to talk more about what that is, because some people may not also know what that means. So we're going to be talking about that, and you know, what services you provide as far as Reiki healing sessions, and we will be right back. Make sure you're tuning in on Tuesdays again, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's an amazing life we live, and we will be right back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't really rock.
What is up, beautiful people? I'm back. It's Anna on It's an Amazing Life We Live, coming to you live. We're live. Follow on iHeartRadio and Spotify Premium and YouTube, Pop Radio Worldwide, so that you can follow me. It's an Amazing Life We Live, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It is a motivational podcast for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. Maybe you're just dropping by. So hi, hello, thanks for tuning in. Stay a little while because I have a really dope show, because it's a motivational podcast. And if you are feeling like you need some inspiration in your life, or, I mean, we all need it. We all have our days where we need to, you know, we need to pull it out from somewhere. And hopefully this show helps you guys. That's my aim. And it's also to help, you know, people that I feel like deserve to be on the show, to help promote if they're an athlete, if they're a really dope entrepreneur that has their own, like, small business, if they offer some sort of classes, services, or some non-for-profit organizations and any sort of charity or volunteer work that you may be wanting to promote. I have the resources to help you guys, and I feature athletes of the week, like I said, entrepreneurs of the week, and angels of the week. So if you want to be on my show, make sure that you're having your submissions sent to my email, AnnaTabo, ANNATABO @gmail.com. Again, that's AnnaTabo @gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram. Follow me on the IG. It's an Amazing Life We Live. The pun is intended. But yeah, you can shoot in my DMs, and if you want to, if you're interested in being on the show, if you feel like you have a good story to tell that helps motivate others, I want to hear your story, and I want the world to hear your story. So today we're talking to Miss Crystal Dino. She's my homegirl. Hey. She is a lot of things. I actually, you know, I did my research on you. I had told you, you know, I was going to gas you up. Like, she is a folk art therapist, a tender warrior, fellow Filipina, beautiful soul, and as she calls herself, the Shy Panay. So, you know, I'm sorry, I gotta gas her up. The Shy Panay. Panay means, like, how do you define Panay?
I gotta write this stuff.
I like
you
this.
said brother today. I want to keep that.
Yeah.
How'd you say that again?
What?
The brother.
Brother? Kuya.
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 I love this stuff.
Okay, Filipino word of the day, guys. Maybe I'm gonna start putting this on the show. Okay,
there
Filipino word of the day, Tagalog. So if you want to say brother,
it's Kuya.
It's Kuya. How you spell it? It's K, right?
K-U-Y.
K-U-Y-A, Kuya.
And let's add ate.
Ate, yeah. You know, because that means sister. You know, ate. What's up, Ate? So, you know, guys, again, if you're just tuning in, I did take a little break, and I forgot to tell you guys last time, my bad. I was in the Philippines volunteering, you guys. And I just want to talk about real quick before we get back to Crystal, the organization that I was a part of. I actually went back to the motherland, to the Philippines. It was a long journey. It wasn't my first time there. You know, I think it was maybe my third time as an adult, and I was actually volunteering for a medical mission that my parents started volunteering for a long time ago, because my grandfather, God rest his soul, he used to be president of the chapter here in the in Chicago. So the organization is called the Catanduanes International Association, and their tagline is "We care about Catanduanes." Now, Catanduanes is my mother's. What's up, Mom? Hi, OG. If you're listening, you should be. I think you should be. What's up? What's up, Mom? But my mom, she's from that island, and you know, she really is a dope person, always wanting to help others, and she came from a really, really humble beginning in a very small island, very small province in the Philippines called Catanduanes. And every 3 years, this organization saves money so that we can bring doctors and you know, medical professionals to that island in the Philippines to help provide free healthcare, medical care assistance, and it's also a surgical and humanitarian mission where we're also, I mean, I'm not in the medical field personally, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm an athlete, I'm an artist and all that, but what I can't do as far as medical wise, I do the humanitarian part, and I help with like the food distribution and all that stuff, like feeding the homeless. And it's crazy seeing the amount of people that show up and have walked miles, like people that come from, you know, they don't have much. It's very underprivileged there, so it's very humbling. And have you been back there? You've been back there, right? I mean, well, I know the answer.
Well,
but
the last time I was there was summer 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer, and how was that for you?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was my second time going without family. I went with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I organized a crowd resource to help fund our trip to the Philippines. I went with an organization called Bayanihan Foundation.
Okay.
And then I went with a crew that we created called the Kaluluwa Colectivo, which is Tagalog word for another Tagalog word for today is Soul, S-O-U-L.
Soul.
Kaluluwa.
And let them know what that means. I know what it means.
Yeah, it means soul. So it's the Soul Collective. Oh, you want to write it down?
Yeah, you taking notes.
Yeah.
Kaluluwa, yes.
Lulu, huh?
Ka, lu, lu,
Whoa,
wa.
Lulu.
Yeah.
What?
He's taking notes.
He's
Paying
taking notes.
attention.
Yeah. So we
Soul,
went.
I think it's Soul Collective.
Soul. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And well, the Kaluluwa Colectivo, we were coming up with a way to like create spaces where we could talk about our Filipino indigenous practices and what that means as Filipinos, born, raised here, and trying to reconnect and remember through our traditions that we already practice every day with our families and on our own, and
That's
what
beautiful.
what we tune into, and what we, I guess, intuitively gravitate towards in terms of what we practice. Like, how does that come out as Filipino practices? How do we remember through those? So,
Wow.
but so yeah, we as a group, we decided, it was very last minute, where it was like we should go to the Philippines, and then things started to line up, and Bayanihan Foundation was connected to one of the people in Kaluluwa, and it just all rolled through, and we all went to the Philippines and went through so many different islands.
Yeah.
We met a lot of organizers out there that are organizing for. There's a lot of
It's definitely life. I mean, it's life changing when you
Yeah.
go back to the motherland. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's even though it wasn't my first time back there. It's humbling every time, especially when I get to volunteer for an organization like that. So real quick, again, it's called the Catanduanes International Association, and if you want to help, you can find them on Facebook. It's the Catanduanes International Association. So the way that it started, though, it's like there's basically natives and from there that are, you know, residents there now or former residents, and it's like their family, friends, anybody who wants to lend a helping hand, and they just created an organization. I forgot what year that was. It was in the late 90s. And they have chapters all over the USA, all over Canada. And it was just an amazing experience. It's very humbling, and it, you know, makes you very grateful for what you have, especially when you're in like where we're from in America. So we're going to be talking more about that too when we get back. Again, I want to talk about her Reiki sessions that we said we didn't even talk about that, but she is a Reiki healer, and we're going to be talking about how you can. I mean, is the term like get healed? Get no,
I'm
get balanced.
that.
Not right.
Yeah,
Well, what's
no.
the term? What would you say?
Well, what are you trying to say right now?
I don't know. Like how to center yourself, or
yeah, I guess how to center yourself, how to create balance and harmony within yourself, how to make sense of your own experiences through different modalities such as Reiki. Not all modalities work for you, so you gotta find what works for you best. So,
all right, yeah. Well, we will talk more about that and what Reiki is. And again, I'm here on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's an amazing life we live, and we will be right back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't really rock.
What is up, beautiful people? I'm back. It's Anna on It's an Amazing Life We Live, helping you live your best amazing life. Here I feature athletes, entrepreneurs, angels. I want to give you health and wellness tips, brain training, mind training, and inspiring stories to help you get motivated. And with me today, if you're just joining in, welcome. Stay a little while. I have my girl Crystal Dino.
Hey.
She's a folk art therapist, she's my fellow Filipina warrior, She is a Shai Panay, and she's just a beautiful soul and an amazing person to know and to just get to know. So yeah, exactly, to get to know. So before we got on break, we were talking about how she she is a Reiki healer. Now, can you explain what Reiki is and what it means to be a Reiki healer?
Sure. So yeah, Reiki is another healing modality. There's many modalities, methods, ways to gain harmony and balance within yourself in seeking healing treatments, right? And Reiki in particular is about this universal life force energy, where a practitioner, I guess, would use their hands. They would generate or channel this Reiki life force energy. That the energy would be there for the people, the person that they're working with as their client, their participant, what have you. And that energy is used to go to areas in the body where there would be stress or anything that's misaligned within the body that causes blockages that could eventually turn into illnesses.
So is it like the chakras?
It's based on chakras.
So what's the for people that don't know what a chakra is? Because I'm gonna do kind of a little one-on-one almost. What does that even mean? I know what that means.
Well, the basics of chakra, there's about 7 that the people could talk about. There could be more than 7, right? But they're energy portals within the body that focuses
energy
on certain
portals.
I call it energy portals. That's how my understanding.
That's a good way to put it. Energy portals.
But everyone has their own language around it, and I would say that those 7 portals in your body are focused specifically to certain organs, certain areas within your body. So
there's a heart chakra.
You got your heart chakra.
Okay.
You got your sacral. You got your roots. And it goes into many different aspects of your life. So the Reiki energy that is channeled through to go where there are blockages within those chakras or anything in your body is going to help guide that healing that is needed.
Wow. So in a Reiki, when somebody is going to have a Reiki healing session, what does that entail? And how long is it? I know I have one. I've had one by you before, and not everybody knows what that is. What exactly are people getting themselves into? If they're
it's a calm and gentle. I don't even want to call it procedure. It ain't like that. Yeah. But it's as simple as sitting down and I could lay my hands near you. It's not. You don't even require touch. It's also through my practice and through the training that I get from my teacher that has been passed down to her from many generations. And I channel that energy towards you. And I concentrate. I really do my meditation and prayer towards the person and trust in where that energy needs to go toward it wherever it needs to go in your body
to help balance
Sure.
everything almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, how long are these sessions usually?
I've had as short as 15 minutes to as long as an hour and a half.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have a talk with the person that you're,
Yeah.
that you're working with afterwards to let them know what you felt, what you saw?
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes I ask how did they feel. Sometimes I ask during how are you feeling to just check in. But afterwards, kind of seeing how it could affirm what I felt too, and like it's just a sharing session of what they felt throughout the session. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I just got my master's level in Reiki.
Okay.
And this is
Wow.
right after I got my master's in art therapy. But for me, because I went through grad school and there was a lot of stress in trying to get things done, I specifically made an intention to not work on people until I was done with the stressful part of
That makes
my
sense.
life. So
Well, it's also like you're practicing what you preach
Right.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
you are a Reiki healer, so it's like if you're starting to get off balance in some way, whatever. I mean, I'm not as educated with you. Like, I'm not sure about the different chakras, but just different areas of your life. You can feel you're off. You need to you got to water your plant.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
You got to water your plant.
Yeah. I don't want to be passing that on my stress onto other people too. That's being irresponsible of me as a practitioner.
Is it like a cleansing, like?
Yeah, I gotta do. I definitely do.
Are
that.
they like cleansing, like us Puerto Ricans and Spanish people call those, like what you're describing, like a limpieza, like a cleanse?
Yeah. I mean, not so much of a ceremony as such like that,
There
but
can be some.
oh, I know. Yes, I have. I have
Yeah.
witnessed.
But nothing like that.
No, it's very simple and gentle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just educating you. We're educating you. Hey,
That's a whole nother
Hey.
level. That's all.
that's
Yep.
valid question.
I noticed that when I walked in.
So,
Generations
if
and
you
generations.
want to book a session, if somebody that's watching or listening right now, tuning in to It's an Amazing Life We Live, and they're hearing this and they are interested in a Reiki healing session from you, how can they learn more about that? Like, how can they book a session with you?
Again, I am through word of mouth, through Facebook, through Instagram. Yeah. So I am working on the whole marketing type thing, but I am really super underground and word of mouth. I like it like that. But I realize too that I need to do a little bit more, like maybe a Facebook.
Hey, but she's my homegirl, so you can hit me up and I'll hit her up. So but yeah, so that's really, really dope. I mean, it's all about, I love to bring people here that are about health and wellness, and she is like more than just like I said, she's more than just a visual artist, a performing artist. She's just like, as far, I don't even know how to describe it. You have a very passionate soul and really embrace culture and also embrace being in tune with yourself, and that's hard. I mean, I know that some of the most highly successful people, they do a lot of work with Reiki healers, with, meditation, with, making sure they're having everything in tune in their mind, their body, their spirit. That's really, really important. So, shout out to Crystal.
Hey.
Thank you for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you
She's
for-
real quick, I wanted to kind of switch it up and ask you like a real quick question. Because I was talking about, coming back from the Philippines and then just being, Filipino and being an American, and how that is different growing up. Like, and it doesn't even have to be Filipino and American. You can be you can be from Puerto Rico and American. You can be Mexican American. You can be from Europe somewhere American. And it's just like to have parents that immigrated here, and you were born here. How is that? How did it affect you growing up? Have you always embraced your culture this way? Was there any time that you had like identity issues, or like, because I know for me, I personally did, like, it's like I didn't know where I belonged almost. I was like, am I this, am I that, you know? How did it affect you?
You know, every time I have discussions like this, I always have to start off with the story of when I think we were in kindergarten. I think I would always go to my Auntie Myrna's house after school, after St. Ben's, and go to Lola's. And I would go with my cousin Louie. And my dad was there to pick me up after he got out of work. And I don't know why my Auntie Myrna wanted to ask in front of the whole family, me and Louie, like, she was like, Crystal, are you Filipino or American? It was like out of nowhere. We were playing on like the computer or whatever.
Wow.
And I looked at her like without any hesitation.
It's crazy because
I'm like,
I still remember that.
I'm like, I'm Filipino. Like, I didn't, you know, why are you asking me this? You know, like, it was just an automatic thing. So young,
like,
too.
You knew.
Like, I already knew, right? So, I say that, I always say that story because it's like, I've always had this strong, like, knowing that this is what and who I am. And because, and it's definitely with my family, right? And also, but I never really, I never identified as American until I first stepped into the Philippines by myself. For the first time in 2007. I went through a trip that I got the scholarship through to do some research out there when I was in my undergrad. And I was like, I'm Filipino, right? And I go there and I was like, damn, I'm American. I was like, no, I am solely Filipino American.
It's like you think you're Filipino and then you go back to the motherland. I'm like, maybe I'm not as Filipino as I thought. Like, I am very wow.
I mean, it's definitely, I noticed it in how the way I walk, right? It was I was a B girl at that time too, so I was breaking, and so like the different things of like the way I held myself was totally not.
Oh, they can
you know,
no.
So
coming back from the Philippines, I can tell you guys right now. You may not know, but it's like, even though we all may look alike, like feature wise, like I swear they can already tell just from me walking, the way I look, the way I put on my makeup, my clothes. I don't know. They know I'm not from there. They're like, no, she's from the States. Yeah. That's what they say. They're from the States. But but it's weird because you're both though.
Yeah.
You know, so for me it was the opposite. It's like I felt like I was American. I didn't really know, you know, but we'll get into that for the next segment, you know, because that's a pretty big question I asked you. Yeah. But we're going to be talking about that. We can go on and on with that. But we will be right back, guys. Make sure you're tuning in on Tuesdays for the next couple times this month on Tuesday. It's an amazing life we live. And I want to help you live your best amazing life. So we'll be right back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't really rock.
What is up, beautiful people? It's your girl Anna on It's an Amazing Life We Live, coming to you on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you're following Pop Radio Worldwide on iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, and YouTube. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, show us some love. That way you can make sure you're tuning into all the dope shows throughout the week and all the stuff that we have going on here on Pop Radio Worldwide. Today, I just wanted to thank real quick, since, you know, I have my girl with me. I wanted to thank Crystal Dino here, my guest for today, because she is an amazing soul, a dope person to know. She's a warrior. She embraces culture, and she just has a lot to. She's a Reiki healer. She's a, Filipino martial artist. She's a visual artist, performing artist. Everything. She's, man, you're everything. You really are. But I just wanted to thank you for being on the show. And before we went on break, we were talking about embracing your culture. If kind of like, I don't know how to say this. It's like almost like if you're a hybrid, you know. Sometimes I felt like, I guess like that's a good way to say it. Like I'm a hybrid race almost, you know. Like I'm Filipino by ethnicity, but I was born and raised here in Chicago. So it's like, for me, my experience was a little bit different, even though I knew you embraced your Filipino side background automatically first and foremost, and you didn't identify with your American side until later. For me, it was the opposite. It's almost like I was striving to be someone that I wasn't. If anything, I because I didn't understand my Filipino culture, it was only at home for me, and then I come out and it's American everywhere else. And sometimes kids are mean. They make fun of you if you're not you're bringing weird food as your lunch or whatever. So I know for me personally as an artist, I struggled with who to look up to, right? When because there's not that, at the time there wasn't that many people that look like me on the in the industries that I'm in. So if you are into like art, performing, sports, like who did you look up to?
Wow.
Because it's like we're now, like, I know I'm trying to be the voice for that I needed when I was a kid, because there was no one that looked like me on TV. There was no singer. All the songs I was singing, there wasn't like a Filipino chick R&B singer, you know what I mean? Like I listened to Aaliyah. Nothing wrong with Aaliyah, but I'm just saying nobody looked like me.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There, like growing up, I think the earliest of Filipinos, Filipinas, Filipinxes that I could think of didn't start until high school. And it wasn't, again, I think my brother, I owe so much love and gratitude to my brother, because we're 9 years apart, and he introduced me to a lot of the people and the different communities that he was a part of. But it was my junior year of high school, and he brought me to the Hot House one night. They played, it was like a night of poetry, but they featured the Mango Tribe. And that was a group of Asian women throughout the whole diaspora, all different ethnicities within the Asian, I guess the Asian art scene in Chicago, and they formed a group called the Mango Tribe, and that
Mango Tribe
was so eye-opening and inspirational to me. That has to be junior year.
That's
I was
dope.
Just,
Mango
when I
tribe.
saw, I was like, I want to be a mango so bad. That's why
I want to be a mango.
I want to be a mango. But when I saw all the women of Asian descent who looked like me, had brown skin, who had all different hairstyles, the different styles and everything, I was just so excited to hear them singing, rapping, doing their poetry, all of that. And all of them working together, creating this production at the Hot House. It was one of my earliest memories of being really inspired by women who look like me, and who were Filipino or who are of Asian descent.
So we're a minority, like in some industries we're a minority. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's dope. Mango Tribe.
They're not around together. I know all the different artists have like gone into their own specific practices, but I just remember that was like a high time for me. So
wow. So this is kind of a deep question that I wanted to ask, but for you, like, what does it mean for you to be Filipino American? Like, what does that mean?
Goodness.
I know, I went deep, because I'm going to end this show deep.
Okay. Shoot. I mean, gosh, Filipino American, it's complexity, it's learning so much more about the history that's not presented to us, so you have to do the work. You have to go ask the questions. You have to ask aunties, uncles, titas, titos, lolas, whoever you could talk to. You got to talk to your friends, those who share the same or not so similar.
Lola means grandmother.
Yeah.
Lola.
I say grandfather.
Lolo.
But also, I mean, if you're into it, if you have the connections to resources of reading all the scholars that are talking about Filipino-ness and what that means before colonization, what it means after colonization, or what it means to be living here in America or in Chicago. I say Shai Panay specifically because our lived experiences are going to be different from Panays or Filipinas that are living in LA, that are living in New York. It's going to be a different vibe.
It's different subcultures in different cities.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean, what it means to be Filipino American, it's a lot. It's beautiful. It's a rich culture. It's very open to trying to understand where we place ourselves now and how that relates to other experiences that people that we come across in Chicago.
That's dope.
So
I also wanted to ask you, because I know I was thinking this in my head before we even started the show. I wanted to ask you, like, when you were, because it's not very common for some, like, anybody who wants to be an athlete, an artist, any sort of something that's just not what most people go for, and especially in our culture. Like, how did you keep going when maybe your family is looking at you sideways? Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you keep going? Because that's real. There's a lot of people, sometimes the very people that will, like, won't support you as your own family, your own friends, you know?
You gotta have your chosen fam. That's what it is. It comes down to chosen fam. It comes down to what really lights your heart. It really comes down to the choices you gotta make in terms of, like, how are you gonna make the money? How are you gonna balance everything? But also what feeds you. For me, it's what's feeding my soul. I know it's part of my life work. It's part of my soul purpose, and using all of my arts, my movement, and everything.
It's like being just true to yourself. Like, that's you. So I thank you again, Crystal, for being here on the show. Again, you can follow her on Instagram at Crystal Dino. If you want to hit her up for so many things, for Filipino martial arts, for the FMA, for that movement, for Reiki healing sessions. If you want to learn more about Filipino culture, because she's very knowledgeable of that, and she's just a beautiful soul to know. And hey, what's up? And again, just thank you. Any shout outs you want to give real quick before we get out of here on a Tuesday?
Oh my gosh, on a Tuesday. Shout out to my family, shout out to my homies, to my house fam, to my homegirls, everyone. I don't know, all my homies.
You gotta say the name.
Friends. I gotta say the name.
Yeah, you gotta say the name.
Diva's playing DP.
Diva's playing. That was our group back in when we were shorties. We called ourselves Divas Playing.
DP was our crew name.
DP. Anyway, I'll be back next week with more beautiful stories like Crystal and how she just overcame so much and just living her best amazing life through embracing her culture and her art in every way, shape, or form. So I'll be here next week, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. Follow Pop Radio Worldwide, and It's an Amazing Life We Live. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, and YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all. Whipping up a pop, show you how to get it off. I don't really rock. I just get the brick across, take you to the block. My shorties know I've been a boss. Chemo, solid, hard body.
What's up, everybody? I just want to say thank you again. My name is Crystal Dino. Thank you for having me on your show for It's an Amazing Life with iHeartRadio. Please follow my girl, my homegirl since forever ago, Miss Anna Tabo. Reach her through, what is it?
It's an Amazing Life We Live on Instagram, and you can also get at me on Facebook, AnnaMarie Tabo. Follow my business page there, like and subscribe.
And mad shout out to everybody who's following, and thank you again for coming through. I hope to see you soon.